today. Today we're going to be taking you guys into my Week 11 picks for the 2022-2023 NFL season. Starting with the Thursday night game, we got the Titans traveling to Lambeau to play the Packers. And in this one, I actually took the Green Bay Packers here. And the reason that I did that, it's in Lambeau. I think the Packers coming off a win, it's definitely going to help them. I know the Titans are coming off a nice win as well against the Denver Broncos. But I think for the Broncos, this is a nice momentum setter for them for this game and really for the rest of the season. And I think Aaron Jones, criminally underrated back, and I think he's going to have a very, very nice game here against the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Derrick Henry is going to gash the Green Bay Packers, but I think it won't be enough to overcome Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Lambeau. It should be a good, relatively close game, but I think the Packers will be able to take the cake here on Thursday night. Then we'll go to the Sunday games, starting with the ones that are at 1 o'clock. We'll start with these games in the middle here. We'll got the Commanders going into Houston. I'm taking the Commanders here. I like how they played up against Philly, and while I don't think they'll be quite as dominant in other games for the rest of the season, I definitely think the Commanders are definitely better than some people give them credit for, especially with the win over Philadelphia. They should be able to take care of the Commanders, not the Commanders. The Commanders should be able to take care of the Texans, who at this point are just vying for Bryce Young at this point, just trying to make sure that teams like the Raiders and the Lions don't go get him. So I'm going to take the Commanders here. Next up, you got the Eagles at the Colts. Eagles, who we just mentioned, took a loss to the Commanders. Meanwhile, the Colts with Jeff Saturday somehow ended up beating the Raiders on the road. I guess a good first win, whatever. You beat Josh McDaniels, so I guess we'll see how good you really are. I think this is a trap game for the Eagles, but I have them winning this game. I cannot see them losing back-to-back games here, at least not with the easy schedule that they have. But I got the Eagles winning this one. Might be closer than some people anticipate. We'll see just how much Jonathan Taylor has improved. Because he dominated the Raiders, so we'll see just how good he is against the Eagles. Then we got the Panthers going into Baltimore. I don't really got to explain this. They're both very inconsistent, but Baltimore has performed better. They should absolutely smash the Panthers. Next up, we got the Rams at the Saints. I got the Saints winning this one just for the simple fact that the Rams do not have Cooper Kupp, and the Rams offense just has not looked good. It has looked about as confident as a junior peewee flag football team, so I think the New Orleans Saints with their backup quarterback, and I think with that dominant defense, should be able to take care of business and dominate the Rams. Then we got what I think should be another trap game. This time it's for the Giants. I think the Lions are going to be able to take the cake, and the Lions are probably going to lose this one, but I wouldn't be too shocked to see Detroit win. These two had about the same record at the end of last season, so, honestly, we could see a little bit of the former Giants here on Sunday, but I think they should be able to win. They got Saquon. They got a good defense. They're very well coached with Brian Daboll, who I think is still Coach of the Year. And so could be close, might not be close, even though the Giants struggled against the Texans a little bit and only beat them by 8 points. I'm still going to rock with the Giants this week. Then you got the Bears taking on the Falcons, the last 10 o'clock game at the 1 p.m. side. We got the Bears in Atlanta. Fields has been playing really well. The Falcons, not so much. But, both these teams are both kind of slumping. The Bears right now sitting at 3-7, while the Atlanta Falcons, they sit at 4-6. I'm actually taking the Chicago Bears this week. And the reason that I'm taking the Chicago Bears is for the simple fact that, Fields has been playing too good for him to not win. And at this point, I think in him losing another game to the Atlanta Falcons because his Bears don't know how to keep a lead, his Bears defense doesn't know how to keep a lead, I think that's just horrible. The Bears have a ton of draft cap and a lot of salary cap space to work with to build around Justin Fields, who I think is going to be a great quarterback for years to come for Chicago. I think they do win in Atlanta, despite the fact that Atlanta has been playing really good at home. Chicago, not so much on the road. But I think this is going to be one of the few games that Chicago ends up taking on the road because of Justin Fields and that offense that just got absolutely rejuvenated. So, Bears win. Then we got another divisional matchup. I say another, but This is actually the first one that we've gotten. We've got the Jets and the Patriots. Both these teams coming off a bye. Jets coming off a big win over the Buffalo Bills. And meanwhile for the Patriots, coming off of a win as well, but they smashed the Colts. I'm taking the Patriots here. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think with Ramondre Stevenson there, and I honestly think whoever the quarterback is, it's not really going to matter. They should be able to win. Bill Belichick and the Patriots have had success against the Jets in the past, and so I think the Patriots will win because of their never-ending success, at least against the Jets. Next up, you got the Browns at Buffalo. I think regardless of where the game is played, because I think there's rumors about the game potentially being moved, I'm still going to take the Bills. They have to right the ship here in this game. Allen cannot turn the ball over anymore. He cannot turn the ball over in this game. He cannot turn it over against the Lions. In my eyes, for him to win MVP, he would have to throw no more than 4 interceptions and fumble no more than twice. But I think the Bills as a whole, they're still a very good team, don't get me wrong. I think they should be able to beat the Cleveland Browns, who give up the second most points on average defensively and are about middle of the pack in yards. So I think the Bills should be able to hang on. The biggest threat is going to be Nick Chubb, and then Amari Cooper. Obviously, you can't overlook him. But I think the Bills will be able to beat the Browns, despite the fact that Nick Chubb will probably gash us for about 150 yards. But I'm going to take the Bills. Next up, you got the Raiders at the Broncos. And this is the third game all season I'm picking against the Raiders. I'm 2-0 when that happens. And I expect the Broncos to beat the ever-living crap out of the Raiders. The Raiders are nothing but a huge, underwhelming disappointment this season with Josh McDaniels. I mean, to some people, it's not really a surprise. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised about it either, considering Josh McDaniels' past coaching jobs. At least as the head coach. He's a great offensive coordinator, don't get me wrong, but as a head coach, he is blah. I mean, Nathaniel Hackett isn't really anything to, praise either. But, I mean, at least he has a defense that can make stops, unlike the Raiders. And so, with that, I'm going to take the Broncos. Then you got the Bengals at the Steelers. And I know a lot of people are going to take the Cincinnati Bengals this week. But I'm going to go for the upset here. I'm actually going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers. You remember what happened in week 1? TJ Watt was there, and they absolutely beat they didn't beat the ever-living crap out of the Bengals. But the defense dominated Cincinnati all game long, and even though the Steelers don't really have much offense, I think the Steelers can be able to win. They have TJ Watt. Yeah, they don't have Minkah Fitzpatrick, but the Bengals don't have Jamar Chase, which is definitely going to limit Joe Burrow, Joe Shiesty, and the rest of that Bengals offense. I think the O-line is just going to get absolutely gashed by TJ Watt, and I think both teams will make their fair share of plays. Should be another really good game, and I would definitely not be surprised to see Cincinnati win. But I think Pittsburgh wins in a low-scoring game. Then you've got the Chiefs going into LA, and I have the Chiefs winning this one. The injuries with the Chargers, they're going to be too much to overcome, especially playing up against a juggernaut like the Chiefs. However, if the Chargers are to win this game, I think a lot of people, including myself, would be shocked. Even though Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are practicing and they could potentially play in this game, I think the Chiefs are just playing too good a football right now to win this game on Sunday night. But yeah, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs here because Mahomes is unbeaten, traveling to LA and really traveling to everywhere else and playing the AFC West. Next up is the Monday night game. Oh, no, wait, I didn't talk about the Cowboys-Vikings game, my bad. I actually took the Cowboys in this one just because of last 2 seasons, Andy Dalton and Cooper Rush have gone into Minnesota and beaten these Vikings. And while I think this is a completely different Vikings team than what we've seen the past 2 seasons, I think the Cowboys are going to be a little too much to overcome. I think this could potentially be a high-scoring game, but I think Dallas's defense will be able, or at least they should be able, to come up with one final stop to hold off the Minnesota Vikings, unlike the Bills. Anyways, next up, we have the 49ers. Oh, by the way, I would not be surprised to see Minnesota win at all. I just feel like Minnesota is going to have to take at least 1 or 2 more losses going into the playoffs, and I feel like this would be the team to do it. The Dallas Cowboys. Now we go to the Monday night game. Sorry about that. We get the Niners at the Cardinals, And I have the 49ers winning this one. I honestly don't think this should be really close. I feel like this is going to be just like the Ravens-Panthers game. I mean, outside of like the wide receiver, DeAndre Hopkins, and the Cardinals, I don't really think the Cardinals are going to find much success. On the ground, they're not going to do anything. Defensively, they're not going to stop Debo. They are not going to stop Ayuk. They're not going to stop Kittle. And they will especially not stop CMC. So, yeah, I got the Niners blowing out the Cardinals in Mexico City. So, yeah, with that being said, you guys, those are my picks for this upcoming week. I feel a little bit more confident about these picks than last week's picks, but you never know. I could be wrong on every single one. I hope that's not the case because that would mean my Bills lose and the Jets continue to pull away. So, yeah, with that being said, you guys, what did you think? Let me know down in the comments below if you agree with these picks or not. And with that being said, you guys, if you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you are new, and click that notification bell to get all the latest news and all my latest content. And with that being said, I will see you guys for the recap. See ya.